What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik. I am the hardest working man in sports and gaming. We're going to talk WWE 2K22 again. I've had some hands on time with the game in order to kind of play around with the gameplay a little bit. Most of what I was looking at so far was my GM. We got a few hours to play around with it, but in the process, I was also able to get in some matches so we can get a good opportunity to see what the gameplay kind of has in store, which of course is arguably the biggest aspect of the game. So one of the first things that stood out to me is the vibrant colors. Now that might sound crazy to you, but you'll see once or if you get an opportunity to see the game right there in front of you, especially if you're playing on solid monitor, PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, you will see the difference, right? In just the visual fidelity, details to attires, skin, that sort of thing. It is a visual thing, but and I know that this is about gameplay, but that is important to me because it initially gives you that desire to want to pick up the controller and play the game. So that's a big thing, and it just gives you some sort of transfer as you're controlling the characters, and they look so solid. Now there are some things from an artistic standpoint that I kind of point out, and I was talking to a friend of mine who is actually a professional artist, and I was noticing there's something about like the underarm pits, like near underarm pits around where that part of the body where like the shoulder connects to the I don't know, like the back and the side or the upper side. There's a little bit about that that's a little wonky and for some of the characters. I believe Rey Mysterio is one for sure. And when I say wonky, I don't mean like glitchy. It just looks like it could maybe have been drawn a little tighter, but overall, that's the only like real major, and I wouldn't even necessarily call it major, but noticeable issue that I saw from that standpoint. But let's go deeper into gameplay talk. Let's talk about the addition of combo breakers. So with the previous game, most of like the difference between winning and losing was how you managed your reversals and was able to kind of like drain out and reverse finishers. If you were able to do that, and it's kind of like a battle of who had the most finishers at what time in the match. But combo breakers adds like to me like a much needed fighting game element to the experience because at the end of the day, that's what a WWE game is. It's a fighting game, but it's like a sports themed fighting game. So I like the fact that there's just an arcade feel to it, which the combo breakers help to deliver. And it's something that I actually welcome in a WWE game because to me, the sweet spot for WWE 2K is somewhere between like simulation and arcade. I think we're almost just about there. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I think we're moving in that direction. So I like that. I haven't had a chance to control like the bigger superstars. When I say bigger, I'm not talking about star power. I'm talking about big people, the larger guys and girls. So I'm interested in seeing how much different they move, if at all. So I really want to see that, just to see if there should be like a handling difference, right? They should feel heavier, more lumbering, but maybe the impact of their shots should feel different. I want to see if that's being translated. I really haven't ever felt that in a WWE game before. I'd like to feel it in this one, but we'll see. Backstage battles. The biggest thing that they've added is a verticality concept, where you can climb stuff, throw people off of stuff, and like kind of interact with some of the environments from a vertical standpoint instead of just moving kind of back and forth in what usually is more like a 2D kind of a fighting experience. So I do like that. It adds some cool layers to it. Makes it like it feels a little different than just regular traditional in-ring combat too. But it does make me wish that the combat was a little more free as it pertains to the environments, right? So we still don't get that fight anywhere kind of a feel like the entire arena is your fighting ground. And I would really like to see that as a possibility at some point. Fighting into the crowd, fighting wherever you want to take the fight. I would like that to happen because we all know we see that sometimes in professional wrestling. The fight spills out into wherever. Another thing that I noticed is the collision detection is much better. So I should have said this at the beginning, but one of the primary things that I was looking for in WWE 2K22's gameplay is improved collision detection, just improved um, movement and animations overall with the game. That was one of the biggest glitch points in 2K20. People getting tied up in ropes and just weird reactions to punches and kicks, weird stuff that takes place when they hit tables and chairs and all that. I can tell you that the from that end, the game is markedly better. You can tell that from a gameplay standpoint, that was one of the main focuses. They were like, this game is not going to be glitchy. This game's not going to be buggy. And I'm not saying that to say that there won't be any bugs, because there's nowhere in the world I can go through every aspect of the game and be able to see if there's going to be any bugs at all in 2 hours. But I can tell you, just in general, gameplay in 2K20, you were much quicker to see something that made you go, what in the world is that? Than 2 hours. It didn't take 2 hours to find it in 2K20. And so I didn't see any of that stuff. Like I said, don't take that as a guarantee that every last piece of that has been cleaned up. But I do feel comfortable in saying just the overall combat system and collision detection is far more free and far more slick and less buggy. I am still looking forward, though, to doing a Royal Rumble match, because I want to see if the animations, if there's a slowdown in frame rate with the more wrestlers in the ring and on the screen at the same time. I didn't get a chance to do that. So mostly what I did was I did a one-on-one match and a tag team match. So I got a chance to kind of see how that flowed. And with the tag team matches, I did not notice any slowdown with 4 people on the screen, even at some point in time interacting. So those are positives, right? So we'll see. And with the stronger consoles, you would hope that, we don't see that drop in frame rate. That's all I got for you right now. I look forward to bringing like a full review and even a deeper look at stuff like my faction, my rise, and the rest of the components of the game, and of course the creation suite once we get going into the full game. But I appreciate you watching as always. God bless and peace.